Jaylani Owens from Avow Texas, thank you so much, and welcome to Ion Politics.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So I want to start with your reaction to the Supreme Court allowing for now the FDA's 2023 rule allowing women to have access to the abortion pill mifepristone through the mail.
Sure. I think that the decision is very much in line with what we already know about mifepristone, which is that it is very safe. It's been FDA approved for over 25 years now. It's been recognized globally as being safe for folks to have medication abortions. And so while the lawsuit continues to play out, which we know is already, there's a lot of ideological underpinnings there. I am really happy to see that folks can at least take that deep breath of relief and know that they can still access this medication and not have to continue to, check news headlines to be able to access very routine healthcare.
And talk to me a little bit about your concerns, because as you mentioned, the case is still going forward. It may ultimately end up back at the Supreme Court. We'll see. But what are your biggest concerns going forward?
Yeah, I think my biggest concerns is that um, what this lawsuit tries to do is very much the opposite of what allegedly Dobbs was about, which was saying that states should get to decide on the issue of abortion. And then now we see Louisiana using the court system to try and create this nationwide policy around access to medication abortion. And so the way that they're doing that, one of their primary arguments is that mifepristone isn't safe, which just is not true. There is no science to say that it's not safe. We've seen since Dobbs in particular that more and more people are using medication abortion or accessing it through telehealth and teleclinic services to be able to facilitate that for themselves. And so we're seeing an abuse of court processes, in my opinion, and then also seeing that the arguments are just not supported by science and are purely backed by ideology, which is not how our courts systems are supposed to be used to begin with.
So, do you think because when the Biden administration put this rule in place, it changed the law, which had required in-person doctor's visits and the medication to be dispensed with the doctor there? Do you believe that COVID has proved that we're beyond that at this point? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So, back in 2021, the FDA, in part to mitigate just COVID exposure, had adjusted the rules around mifepristone so that people didn't have to only access it through in-person dispensing, like you noted. And because science has already shown, whether that's the World Health Organization, there's a number of US-based medical research studies that have shown that mifepristone is safe. The FDA said that, hey, like our assessment as far as mifepristone having to be in person only doesn't really hold up. And also in this current moment where there's a global pandemic, it's actually putting folks at risk of something else happening to them, which is far, less safe than accessing this medication this way. And so naturally, as we learn more, we should have our policies reflect what we know now. And so, yeah, like I absolutely agree with the science that we have available.
And I read somewhere where the people who backed the Fifth Circuit U.S. Court ruling that denied this rule and said it should go back to the original policy requiring in-person doctor visits in order to get this mifepristone. They say that the Dobbs decision overturning Roe v. Wade left it to the states, but that this law actually does the opposite because, for example, in Texas, they say, abortions are not allowed. They banned the use of mifepristone for elective abortions. And so, what do you say to that?
Yeah, so what I'll say is that currently the anti-abortion policies that are in effect in Texas explicitly exempt the person who's having an abortion from any criminal prosecution. Those only apply to providers. And so right now, we do not have abortion clinics operating in Texas providing this medication. We have people seeking abortions who are within their right to order pills by mail, to travel for healthcare, and to utilize community networks, whatever that looks like for them. And so this is completely in line with that. There is no law that requires the person who's having the abortion to be criminalized. And so, however they're choosing to access care, they're within their right to do so. And so, again, like it's very much about ideology and feeling like, well, the reason that I put this policy in place was the hope that abortions would stop, which globally we already know that criminalization does not stop abortion. Abortion is healthcare that people need for a variety of reasons. Even people who maybe become pregnant and intend to give birth and parent their children, sometimes health circumstances require an abortion. And so naturally, we're seeing that you can't make abortion not exist through legislation. But in this case, people are within their right to be able to access these pills however they want to.
Anything else you'd like to say? And is there anything that your group of Avow Texas is going to do to try to continue to boost this policy, keep this policy in place?
Yeah, I mean, I always want to remind folks that they are within their right to access abortion pills by mail. They're always within their right if they are concerned about the laws and how they're changing to reach out to the Repro Legal Helpline, and you can get confidential and free support there. And then, as far as what Avow is going to do, we're going to continue to provide community education about abortion, which is also not illegal. We're also going to continue to make sure that folks know about all of the resources that are available to them to support them in whatever reproductive decisions that they make.
Jaylani Owens from Avow Texas. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.